gather around for a rally for freedom against tyranny.
End the tyranny!
So welcome to Shepherd's Bush Central Line Tube, and anyone passing by, what we're here for is to tell you that the lockdown and all those measures are not for you. Look, you don't need to blow the whistles now. Later on, please.
Okay, you're right.
We know as a fact that more people are dying and still dying from being kept out of the National Health Service than are supposedly being saved by the National Health Service from COVID. We know as a fact social distancing does not work. Countries which did no social distancing have actually done better on their own official measurements. And we know as a fact that when it's warm and sunny, or even just damp and humid like now, any virus only lasts a few minutes. So the idea that we need any lockdown or any tracks or trace or anything is a complete lie. The purpose of the lockdown is to continue the lockdown. To continue the lockdown or aspects of the lockdown and brainwashing into another bigger lockdown where they will declare that there's a more dangerous COVID than ever. But we know anything they say in the future will be more fake than anything they are saying now. And what we've seen in the last few weeks is more and more things sold or promoted to you as benefits. They put everything to you as a benefit. And if we say something they don't agree with, it's a conspiracy. Now, what we're seeing in the last few weeks is the benefits are disbenefits and conspiracies, so-called, are being proved to be true. Example, 2 days ago, as a benefit, one of the officers, the cabinet member, Hancock, he said that as a priority to help black people, they would be prioritised for vaccination. Well, of course, it isn't a help of them. They're using black people as guinea pigs. That's what it's about. So they're happy for black people to say we're discriminated against, yes, but they rather than talk about vitamin D3 being a problem which is going to make you ill, they say being black is a problem that will make you ill. So black people then become a contagion which could be isolated and rounded up like they could round you up in Brixton, and this has already been done in Germany. The Roma people have been rounded up and isolated because they're a contagion. Now this happened before the war under Hitler's Germany. The Jews were rounded up as contagion. The contagion ideology is Nazi. Just get that clear, it's Nazi. And those trade unions who think they can go along with this now to live on 80% and they're all going to be saved at the end of it are complete fools. Complete fools. At the end of the day, they will be bankrupted, those industries will be bankrupted, mega corporations will take over pubs and cafes, and a lot of people in trade unions now will be on the dole. And therefore manipulatable by any lie the government says. You can only get your benefits if you've been vaccinated. That's what they will do. It's about control, control, control. And as a word of warning, look back in Germany in 1934. There was a left-wing group, a very big group supporting Hitler, the brown shirts. They were kind of socialist. It was the National Socialist Party. They believed they could get something out of Hitler. On June the 30th coming up, 1934, the brown shirts were massacred, and their leader, the socialist, was massacred. And then Hitler relied totally on mega corporations like Krupp Steel for support. And of course, a mega military operation. So, back to the issue of black people and vaccination. I repeat, you're going to be used as a guinea pig. And we call upon all Black Lives Matter supporters to turn into blacks, if you like. Blacks against vaccine. Where George Soros stands on this, I wonder. But I say blacks against vaccine. In fact, everyone against vaccine. But anyone who's going to be trialled will defend them against any vaccination.
Yeah. Come on, guys, come on. Back against vaccine, back against vaccine.
And I would say that taking down a statue will not stop a vaccination. We've got to concentrate on what is here and now and not get diverted by whatever George Soros or Bill Gates wants you to be diverted to.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's fucking true, man.
So, as I warned, the contagion argument will be used. And that means we've got to defend all those people who are going to get attacked under it. Now, another piece of news the last few days. The United Nations have announced on their 75th anniversary on the 25th of June that they want to have one supreme body of global governments.
Oh, no.
And what is that known as? The New World Order.
Ooh.
3 weeks ago when I mentioned this in the Daily Mail, I was denounced as a conspiracy theorist. Conspiracy is now reality. And now you can make sense of all the measures used against us. It all falls into place. The masks, the social distancing, the vaccination, the tracking, the citing of groups as being vulnerable. It's all part of a brainwashing operation to prepare you for worse. So we have to reject all of it. We have to reject masks. Our masks are a badge of submission to the New World Order. We say no. And now what about our politicians? What are they doing? Are our politicians defending us against these attacks? No, they're implementing them. They're quislings. The BBC, Boris Johnson and Sadiq Khan are evil quislings for the New World Order and the mega-rich around the world. They must go! And to help them on their way, we have launched our Science Challenge. We've sent the letter to the government. It has been received, and Kevin is handing out copies of it. I'll just read the top headline of the letter. It's a challenge to Public Health England, which is the government's agency, that they must show proof that a virus exists which causes COVID-19, or declare there is no virus and end the vax and tracks and social distancing programs immediately. Yes. And we've been generous though, we've given them until the 22nd of July to prove it. And if they don't, we'll declare the 22nd of July as the end of any social distancing, vax and tracks and total war on the New World Order, and we demand the expulsion of the World Health Organization from Britain. Now people, you know we all agree, and we are getting more and more support, but I just think we've got to be very clear on our demands to unite people together. And we intend to bring into our support some people who you've never dreamed of would be supporting us. Whatever they think about, well, football teams, or I know that upsets a lot of people if they're in the wrong football team, but look, or political teams, it doesn't matter. As long as they support no more lockdowns, no COVID vax or tracks, and to take down 5G, which is their main organ to impose the New World Order. Those are our three demands, and we unite around those, and we don't get diverted by arguments into other things. There will be other things people want to talk about, and they can talk about them, but they're not part of the campaign. This is the campaign. This is the campaign around which we are building a summer of discontent. And if we don't win by the end of the summer, we can expect a 100-year winter of desolation and tyranny. That is the historic choice before us. And the powers that be know that is the choice. So they will lie, lie and lie. Now they're doing a soft touch for us because they don't know what to do. But other countries, beware. In the Netherlands, they've had essentially tanks on the streets, but they're water cannons on the streets with massive armed police attacking demonstrators. That will come unless we mobilise the great mass of people. And the next dates coming up are the 4th of July, where a lot of pubs have been allowed, they say, allowed to open, providing they take details of everyone who comes in the pub. Well, what is this? It's a massive tracking operation. So we say the 4th of July, it's the US Independence Day, it's also Lockdown Independence Day, and give no information whatsoever to any spy operation. The 10th of July, and by the way, my own court case is now adjourned to the 23rd of October, and the application in the Magistrates' Court in front of a district judge agreed there was no bail conditions on me whatsoever. So it means we can demonstrate in Hyde Park or wherever in Westminster when we want, or when you want me to be there. Otherwise I'm breaking bail, but I needn't break bail now. The next thing coming up is the 10th of July, after the 4th of July, where Jeff Wyatt, who's here, and I think he's going to say a few words later on, he's in court on similar charges to me, arrested at the same time. Aspects of his case may be adjourned, we don't know, but we're telling people generally, if you've got a court case, adjourn it until after the 23rd of October. And then what we're doing, and we've raised almost £9,000 for it, what we're doing will be a test case, and all other cases will be supported by the fundraising that we've done, including paying any fines. The next big day after that is the 1st of August. Worldwide, we're hoping to have big demonstrations. 1st of August, London. The Germans are aiming for 500,000. So, there's a German there speaking. So, wailing, she's wailing. We are aiming for 500,001. And make sure you bring along that one.
Move people spirit! My God!
Okay. Now, the next few weeks, we're going to repeat our demands, but I want to just say a few words about what our ideas of the future are totally different from those put forward by Boris Johnson and Sadiq Khan and the BBC, and of course placidly accepted by the trade unions. That is total treachery. What they should be demanding are these sort of things, which I'll read out. Never again to any lockdown. Democratic accountability of all state operations, including the National Health Service. We demand independent inspection of any allocations of cause of death in the NHS, so they cannot just label people with COVID. We want the end of censorship on the BBC and Facebook, and so forth. So you've got to set up your own media, and we should stop paying the BBC licence fee.
Yeah. Fake news.
We reclaim the NHS. The NHS is now a notified health service. It's a propaganda machine. It's no longer a national health service. We cannot defend it like it is. It's got to be completely reformed and made accountable. We want no vax or tracks or microchipping, and we want housing for all. There was a homeless person around here just now. Boris Johnson promised that during the lockdown they'd get homeless people off the streets and put them in empty properties. They did nothing. They did nothing. We say housing for all and requisition empty properties for the homeless. And we say reverse 5G because 5G is harmful to you and it's used as their main control operation. So, almost time to finish. We saw someone else speaks, and after this we're going to march along the street to past Notting Hill Gate to Kensington Gardens. It's not far, but then we're going to have a feast and fest. Despite the weather, we'll have a feast and fest and more discussion and so forth. And I just want to urge you all, remember what you've got to do in the next few weeks. We've had, 4 weeks now of a 13-week summer. We're a third of the way through. We've got to build. Think of friends you've got in other parts of the country. Some of us are going to have to speak, not just me, others, around other parts of the country. We're going to keep these London things every Saturday, but maybe Sundays be other parts of the country. So every Saturday, 12 noon, a tube station. Maybe next week, Elephant and Castle. I don't know, but we'll discuss it at the organising committee tomorrow. So, end with a chance. No more lockdown! 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 No more lockdown!
No more lockdowns! No more lockdowns!
And the next one, no COVID facts or tracks! 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 No COVID facts or tracks!
No COVID facts or tracks!
And the last one of our mantra, take down 5G! 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 And I would add, take it down by protest, demanding councils take it down, and we've had some success in Milton Keynes and Norwich. Take it down by the council method, but remember, these things were installed without our permission. So I would say, when we need to, take them down by any means necessary. Take down 5G by any means necessary. Okay, and the great choice before us is tyranny or freedom, and we say freedom!
Freedom! Freedom of movement! Freedom of speech! Freedom of movement!
Very good.
Freedom of speech!
Do you want to say something?
Freedom of movement!
Do you want to speak?
No, darling.
Oh, well, anyone want to speak? Jeff, you want to speak? You're...
No, I'm not speaking to them.
Anyone want to speak? Jeff, you want to speak?
Freedom of speech!
Jeff Wyatt.
Freedom of movement!
Short speeches. Jeff Wyatt from Milton Keynes.
Hello everybody, great to see so many people here supporting Piers. You know, a few months ago I didn't know Piers Corbyn, and what got me interested in Piers Corbyn was the government via Ofcom telling me that I couldn't listen to this man linking 5G with any possible link with COVID-19. Now, I don't know about you, but I do not want to live in a country where the government tell me who I cannot listen to. That's what got me onto this man. 5G is a subject that I'm catching up on, I must admit, and this man started my catch-up programme. In Milton Keynes, we have 7 5G masts in planning to be erected. £8.7 million worth of public money going into technology that is not tested, into technology that 10 days ago 400 US doctors, scientists and other public health officials wrote a letter to the World Health Organization and the United Nations telling them that 5G is not safe, it's harmful to human biology. How about that? We have local councils up and down our country erecting 5G masts without surety of its safety within human biology. Now, there are exceptions. Glastonbury Town Council have adopted a precautionary principle and have stopped the erection of 5G masts. In Milton Keynes, where I'm from, we had a little victory a couple of weeks ago when one of the 7 masts, the application for the planning permission was refused. So it's a little bit of a victory there. We got 6 more to go. A colleague of mine, I am a member of a group of activists in Milton Keynes trying to fight the terrible technology that we believe 5G is. It's so terrible that Lloyd's of London, the insurers, refuse to put 5G on risk. Ladies and gentlemen, Lloyd's of London know what they're talking about. These people are there to make money, and they know there is a considerable risk to human health via 5G. Not many people know that. Let's spread the word. I want to say something about the group of people here. It's a great eclectic mix of people. There is a 20th century lawyer in America called Louis Brandeis, who famously said that there is no greater political office than that of the individual. Ladies and gentlemen, every single one of you here today is performing a really valuable act. I've noticed that Piers support is growing week by week. You're doing sterling work, Piers. You're getting attention both nationally and internationally.
Well, it's everybody. It's thanks to the crowd.
The crowd, every single one of us here is very important. Spread the word. It's a pleasure to be part of it. I had the dubious honour of having my first arrest ever in my life because of this man. It was a shocking experience, frankly. You know, I was born in a free country as a free man. As a 10-year-old, my mum and dad took me to Speaker's Corner and they said, son, that is where people go to say stuff. You can say anything you like.
Apparently.
I've only been to Speaker's Corner 3 times in my life. The first time was in 1974 as a 10-year-old. The last time, I was speaking my stuff with a placard. A placard similar to what my friend over there has got, freedom over fear. Because freedom is so important in this country. Why does somebody's fear of a non-existent virus that some people say it's a non-existent virus, some people say it's a political virus. It's funny how lots of the manipulated data are coming from conurbations around the world that politically find the virus useful. All part of the New World Order that Piers very, very eloquently talked about earlier. Liberty is very important in this country, and it was an outrage to be intimidated by 150 counter-terrorism officers at Speaker's Corner on May the 16th. But it was a start. It was a start of people fighting back and reclaiming their liberty in this country, and we've seen over the last 5 or 6 weeks lots of similar protests going on up and down the country. And long may it continue, ladies and gentlemen. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you.